I was just getting back into meditation, eyes closed, mind quieting when I felt it. She was holding my hand. I remember feeling startled, like opening my eyes to see if my grandmother was really there. And I heard 3 words that I didn't even know I needed to hear. But first, I want to talk about the signs that our deceased loved ones use to try to reach us every day. Signs that most people either entirely miss or they talk themselves out of. Today, I'm sharing 5 of them. And if your past loved one is trying to reach you, by the end of this video, you're going to know it. If you've ever lost someone and felt, even just for a second, like they were still somehow near you, you're not imagining things. You're not in denial. You're likely not just seeing what you want to see. In my work as a medium, I have sat with hundreds of people who have had experiences that they could not explain. And what I can tell you is this: the people we love do not just disappear. They find ways to reach us. They are creative. They are persistent. And sometimes they are absolutely hilarious about it. These are the 5 signs that I see most often. Every single one of them has come through in my communication with those on the other side. Sign number 1, electrical disturbances. Have you ever been sitting in a room and a light starts flickering, but nothing's wrong with the bulb, or your phone does something really strange at a moment that feels like more than just a glitch, or the TV turns on by itself? Spirit communication takes energy, and spirit likes to futz with energy in fun ways. And electricity, that is energy they could work with. I had a client, a man who lost his wife, and during the reading, she told me that she would mess with the lights in the house. He almost seemed embarrassed, but also really happy to tell me that the lights in his kitchen would go absolutely wild. Not a flicker, like wildly flashing. And it always happened in the evening, around the time that they would sit down and have dinner together. He had the wiring checked twice. Nothing wrong. Because that wasn't his wiring. That was his wife pulling up a chair. If something electrical or with your devices has caught your attention in a way that makes you suspicious of your past loved one or brings them to mind, pay attention to that feeling you get at the moment that it happens. Sign number 2, animals and winged creatures. If I had $1 for every client that has told me about a cardinal or a blue jay or a hawk that they just knew was a sign from their loved one, I cannot tell you how many times a grieving person has described a bird, sometimes the same bird, day after day, that shows up right when they're thinking of that person. And what do most people do? They tell themselves, it's just a bird. Here's what I want you to consider. Animals are not filtered by the logical mind in the same way that we are. They don't talk themselves out of things. They are open channels. And sometimes the people we've lost use that openness to get close to us, to say, I'm here, I see you, I haven't gone anywhere. The next time a bird lingers a little too long, or an animal crosses your path, maybe a deer, in a way that feels a little special, acknowledge it. Especially if your past loved one has been on your mind or you've asked them for a sign. Sign 3, songs and lyrics. I remember the first time this happened to me. I had just given my first mediumship reading to someone I didn't know. I brought through my sitter's grandmother. And when it was over and the sitter left my house, I was making dinner and listening to music when a song came on. In the Mood. You know, that big band classic. And I just knew, that it was from her grandmother. Almost as if she was thanking me for connecting her to her granddaughter. So I texted my client right away. I said, did your grandmother like the song In the Mood? She said, loved it. She and my grandfather used to dance around the living room to music like that. Songs are one of the most common ways that our loved ones communicate with us, especially if you or they loved music when they were alive. So when a song comes on and the moment feels significant, when lyrics answer a question or a worry that you were carrying, when a song comes out of nowhere and it was their favorite song, that's a sign for you. We have 2 more signs to go, but first, have any of these signs happened to you? A light, a bird, a song exactly at the right moment? Drop it in the comments below. Sign number 4, scent without source. Did you know that smell is the sense most directly connected to emotion and memory? Studies show this, and I believe that our loved ones know this too. I remember sitting in my house alone, windows closed, when I smelled cigarette smoke, clear as anything. And nobody in my household smokes, and regardless, I was alone. And I knew immediately that it was my grandmother. Cigarette smoke, perfume, cologne, a certain lotion they used to wear, the smell of a workshop, a favorite recipe. These are the scents that arrive without explanation and without source. And when they hit you, you don't wonder, you know. If this has happened to you, you did not make it up. You didn't imagine it. Someone who loves you found the most direct line to your heart, and they used it. Sign number 5, dreams that feel different. Not all dreams are visitations. We know this. Some dreams are just our minds processing the day. But if you've ever had a dream about someone you lost that felt different, more real than real, more vivid than vivid, where you woke up and the feeling didn't fade the way dreams do, then it's likely that it was not just a dream. In my work, spirits tell me constantly that they've visited their loved ones who have survived them in their dreams. And when I relay that in the reading, the reaction I get, the tears, the nodding, the I knew it wasn't just a dream, validates this. If I had a quarter for every time a spirit told me they'd visited their person in a dream and then had it validated right there in the room, I'd be an insanely rich woman. The dream state is where the veil is thinnest. It's where our logical mind finally stands down and more easily allows communication in from the other side. Which brings me back to where I started. My grandmother had a hard life, and she was a difficult woman to be around. For the last 9 years of her life, I had barely spoken to her. Not because I didn't love her, but because being close to her was difficult. And at that time in my life, I didn't know how to hold both of those things at the same time. After she died, I don't think I realized that I was still carrying that, the silence between us, or the way she must have felt about us not talking. And then when I felt that pull to start meditating again, which was actually the beginning of what I'd call my first spiritual awakening, that's when I felt her hand holding mine. Very real, unmistakable. And I heard those 3 words in my mind. I forgive you. I hadn't even realized how much I needed to hear that. I hadn't felt like I was walking around with guilt or shame about it, but the moment that she said it, I realized that I had been feeling those things, and the floodgates opened. And here's what I know now. On the other side of that moment, I have a better relationship today with my grandmother than I ever had while she was here living. The next time a light flickers or a cardinal won't leave your porch, those song lyrics feel like they were meant for you, it's probably not a coincidence. Definitely check out this video next for more about signs from the other side. And if you've ever thought, I want to be able to do this myself, I want to connect with loved ones who have passed on to the other side and strengthen my connection to spirit, I have a free guide for you. It's called 3 Easy Exercises to Strengthen Your Clairs and Speak to Spirit. And the link is right below this video in the description. Someone came to mind while you were watching this, didn't they? Yeah, that's them.